Hey, this is SnowMan Jones.
And Amy.
And Amy and Biscuit. I'm going to put you on the tripod here.
Okay.
And we are going to watch The Undertaker's debut at Survivor Series over 25 years ago. Yeah, so we're doing this a little differently. Amy's got her cell phone right here, and we're going to watch the debut. We're going to turn up the sound so you can hear it along with us. And if anyone's joining us, thanks for joining us on this great Thanksgiving day.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I don't expect a huge audience. So you've been a big Undertaker fan, right?
Yes, he's my favorite for sure.
Yeah, so he is coming in.
First one ever.
Yeah, this is his debut as a wrestler in WWE as the Undertaker.
This is on Thanksgiving.
I believe it was a Thanksgiving night tradition at the time.
I love his under eye makeup. That's ridiculous.
That just looks like me when I haven't slept in a while. I got a little purple under
That
here.
guy looks like Freddie Mercury in the crowd.
You know, I was completely disappointed that nobody knew that you're Undertaker for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I thought I nailed it. I looked just like
for
it, but
Halloween. She's got the red hair. No one knew. She wore the jacket, the cape, everything. You know what we didn't do is we don't have the live comment thing open.
Oh.
Yeah, but we figured we would do a fun live video here. And now look at how tall the Undertaker is. He's entering the ring.
Does he have a bit of a mullet?
Oh, he has a super mullet. One of the better mullets.
That's funny because I don't think of him now. Seeing him as I don't think of him as a mullet guy. But I guess that was cool. And what year did you say this was again?
89, 90, somewhere around there.
That's like the year I was born.
That makes you...
Stop.
So, folks, thanks again for joining us. We have The Undertaker's debut at Survivor Series. Gorilla Monsoon is the announcer. And you see how tall he is standing next to Jim the Anvil Neidhart. What are your initial impressions of the original Undertaker?
Okay, so I think he seems to have gotten a little less cheesy over the years. He's definitely evolved the costume and the character to be, something different. But I love it. He's wearing a Halloween costume, which is really cool.
I wonder if I can just show people where we stand here. You can see, so we are watching the match kind of real time. If you want to watch along, you can, but it's more just joking. We already have a $5 donation. I don't know if we can see that on screen. I'm going to try to click, but whoever you were, you're pretty amazing.
Thank you.
It's probably for Biscuit. They like the Biscuit so much.
So, who is he going up against these guys in pink? Because that just is a good foil for the Undertaker. He's all in black, and then he's going up against.
That's the Hart Foundation. Bret Hart, have you heard of him?
Yes.
That's a lie.
I know I've heard of it. I can't place it exactly.
This is your first 6 months watching wrestling, and we haven't watched wrestling since Halloween together.
I know.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're slacking, folks. So, she doesn't know what Bret Hart is. Doesn't know what the Hart Foundation is. What should we have? Leave a comment. We'll reply after the video. But what should we have Amy watch to where she's introduced to the Hart Foundation and Bret Hart?
You gotta give me something. They're in pink. I don't know.
Bret Hart was a Canadian wrestler.
Okay.
And please leave comments below so she can read them later and have a better understanding of what I'm going to give her.
Yeah.
But Bret Hart, real name Hart. Hart family was a big wrestling family in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
And then he was in the Hart Foundation in WWE. They split up, and he wound up becoming WWE champion and feuding with Shawn Michaels and being the kind of heir apparent after Hulk Hogan for a few years.
Okay.
And then Shawn Michaels took a swing, and then The Rock and Stone Cold, John Cena, etc., etc. So Bret Hart, the guy in the ring right now. Yeah, he was here. He was just a tag team wrestler, tag team champion. But at some point, he becomes the main guy in WWE for 3 or 4 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's some really good documentaries. He had a stroke after getting mule kicked by Goldberg. There's a lot of things that happened.
So the Undertaker comes out and he's his first appearance is fighting a popular guy.
So the lead up to this match was that Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man
Yes.
She's seen some 80s stuff by now.
I like him.
And let's see, and we are getting some notes. So, Biscuit, get outside. They want you outside, Biscuit. So, the $1 Million Man hired a mystery partner for his 4-on-4 tag team.
Okay.
So they would just be this figure in the advertisements.
Is the mystery the Undertaker?
And the Undertaker was the mystery. So,
Yay.
and he was managed by Brother Love, who's in the white suit. He's like a Southern preacher.
That's the preacher. Yeah, okay, I was going to say, I remember that one.
Bruce Pritchard, I listened to his podcast with Conrad Thompson and all that. So the Undertaker just came in and just destroyed everyone. Like, he was a machine. They let him just...
And that adds to his mystery.
Oh,
and
yeah.
his, like, mystique, like, where did this guy come from? He's out of nowhere.
So think about, like, the guy who kind of came up with the idea is Bruce Pritchard, Brother Love.
Right.
So Bruce Pritchard obviously had some ideas of what, like, a Southern preacher would sound like.
Yeah.
I love you. And he was just very preacher.
Very creepy, but he nails it, I think.
Yeah. So then from there, he came up with, he wanted to manage a wrestler. And he saw this 6'7", they advertised 6'10" and a half, big redheaded.
He would not lie in wrestling.
Oh, and we got one comment that says they love the Halloween show. We should wear those costumes every time. Like, maybe she should wear Macho Man next time.
Yes.
Next time Macho Man, and maybe second Macho Man, because I got the beard for it today. But imagine, like, he wanted to come up with, like, this dark, evil, brooding, and they kind of came up with the idea of an Old West Undertaker.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's
like,
for the look.
He's got the,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
And then they trained him to, like, act in a manner that was just very, like, methodical.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, it always reminds me, and I know Kane was more of this, but like Jason Voorhees or like an old horror movie guy that just stalks you and doesn't feel pain, you can't stop him.
Yeah.
Sorry, biscuits.
I like it. He's definitely creepy, and he's so less is more watchable.
Yeah.
Like, you are hanging on the edge of your seat because you want to see like what he does next, you know?
Yeah. Now, by the 90s, and we should watch the documentary together, but by the 90s, The Undertaker really had to change his gimmick a little bit and start moving because people wanted to see real fighting and matches and just a little more energy, right?
I like the slow stuff, but...
Yeah. So, oh, and he was originally known as Kane the Undertaker. That's a comment that just popped up on the screen. Kane the Undertaker. Like Cain and Abel.
Oh, okay, yeah, but they've got, like, the other Kane is his brother now, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think they only use it for, like, one show. Like, the first introduction is like, introducing to the ring, Kane the Undertaker, and then they just left as the Undertaker.
I never thought about Kane being a biblical reference.
Oh, no.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. First murderer.
It's not just Kane's furniture. So who do you like more, like, looking at the character, seeing them standing? Do you like the Undertaker or Kane? They're both cool looking.
The Undertaker, I think. But I like Kane's kind of, he's got a little more pyro and fire, kind of, and I mean, that's cool too. We saw Kane recently, the newer wrestling with Kane at...
Corporate Kane?
Well, was that WrestleMania this year?
Maybe.
No, that wasn't. That was Bray Wyatt, sorry. Not even close. But he looks really cool.
Bray Wyatt, or
Yeah.
what are we talking about now?
Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did we watch of Bray Wyatt this year? Bray Wyatt versus someone, right?
Yeah.
Good insight. So, folks, we're watching on screen. This is the Survivor Series match. It's the Undertaker's debut. You can see Ted DiBiase. That's the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
So when did Brother Love and the Undertaker like split and not be a thing anymore? Because I don't think of them as being together.
Yeah. Well, I think, according to Bruce Pritchard, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are smart out there, Bruce Pritchard was a executive producer behind the scenes. He was in charge of talent at one point. And I think Vince McMahon kind of told him, hey, you got to do one or the other. You can't be on the road acting and do this. So they brought in another wrestler manager, Paul Bearer, to be the manager.
Okay, that's fun.
So Paul Bearer, yeah.
I've heard you guys have beef, but...
Yeah, me and Paul Bearer have beef, but otherwise... So here you see the Undertaker just beat the legendary Dusty Rhodes. Or at least, yeah. And Dusty Rhodes was like the NWA champion. He was a big name, and WWE was feuding with Macho Man Randy Savage. He was on his way out here.
The Undertaker is so much bigger than everyone else right now. Like, just so much bigger than everyone there.
The Undertaker, in his debut, defeats, like, Dusty Rhodes, which is a huge legend in wrestling. And he's just kind of running roughshod over the competition, so it really shows how much they invested in this guy.
Yeah. They were smart. It was a good pick. Like, they picked the right person, and
Right.
you know, just that's such a cool character.
And so the Undertaker's chasing Dusty out, and maybe he gets counted out here, so he is no longer in the match because he's counted out.
This is the fastest we've seen him move all match, too. Like, everything he's done has been kind of lumbering, even getting in and out of the ring, and all of a sudden, once it's over, he's like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still scared.
So the Undertaker's been counted out, which allows him to lose, but not really lose. Like, he lost the match because he was too busy beating this guy up. You know, they got him because it's an elimination match, so.
I like that.
So, what do you guys think? Leave your comments below of what you think of early Undertaker, Old West Undertaker, Tombstone Undertaker, whatever you want to call him. He was pretty cool.
I love it.
So, in iterations, I guess first we have that, and let's see, Dusty Rhodes was my favorite according to Troublesome West Side Outlaw, I can imagine. We have the old Undertaker.
Yep.
And then he morphs a little bit. He's a little faster.
Yeah.
You know, he's more evil.
With the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Paul Bear coming in. He's more like supernatural, kind of, right?
And morphs that way. Then eventually becomes the American Badass.
Which is amazing.
I do like the American Badass. I like Kid Rock though. When he was really he really went dark and evil, like Marilyn Manson, kind of just like wearing like hoods and like worshiping the devil, and it was the ministry.
Yes.
The ministry of Tell me more about worshiping the devil. That's what Biscuit do. Biscuit is just buried in boobies, by the way. It's his favorite place to be. He's stealing all the good views from our fans. So, yeah, Undertaker had a very successful debut, even though it's an elimination match, so he was eliminated.
But he still got to go out as somebody who was like, I was only eliminated because I was being such a badass.
Oh, yeah. At one point, the Undertaker, again, correct me if I'm wrong, he abducted Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon's daughter, in the storyline, when he was in the super evil Satan worshipping. And
why haven't you showed me any of this? This is like all right up my alley. I want to know more.
Right, he's like speaking in tongues, and then he more or less crucified her on an Undertaker T cross thing in the middle of the ring in front of a crowd, like has her crucified.
That's like, I feel like
super
that's
controversial.
Controversial.
96, we could do whatever we wanted.
Why didn't you tell me any of this before? Why didn't you guys tell me about any of this before?
Undertaker fans, I blame you.
Yeah.
So we need to continue. Maybe we need to watch the entire Undertaker documentary. Is our next thing.
Yeah.
What was we've watched a couple movies because Amy, born in the 90s, so you don't know all the 80s movies that I know. I've been making you watch all the 80s stuff.
Yeah, we're learning. I want to see The Wrestler.
Oh, yeah. Mickey Rourke.
I've only seen the scene with, what's her name?
Vale Anawai? No. Oh, Marissa Tomei. Marissa Tomei, she's a strip scene, I think.
Yeah,
that was a good scene.
It's a good scene, but
yeah,
see that movie.
It's a good movie. So, but we made you watch Goonies, and then last week we made you watch Back to the Future.
All three of them.
We should just make a watching with Amy. This is 80s with Amy.
You're trying so hard to turn that into this.
That's really what this is. Me making her watch stuff I like.
Yeah.
So we watched, what did you think of Goonies?
I liked it. We saw it in the theater, and it was so creepy because we're still kind of on lockdown, and
during
theaters
COVID.
are kind of only a little bit open.
Yeah.
We were there with like 2 other people, and it was very bizarre being in the toilet.
A little kid too.
Yeah.
And then, what did we watch last week? Back to the Future?
Yes.
All 3 of them.
And Animal House.
We saw Animal House for the first time.
Yeah.
What were your impressions of Animal House?
It was not nearly as controversial. Everyone builds it up as this like horribly obscene, terrible movie. Animal House is just boys running around and raping everybody, and I don't think it was that bad, personally.
Who told you that that's what that movie is? I've been meaning to ask you. You're like, everybody says it's just boys raping. And is that what people say?
Have you read any feminist literature ever?
No, I have not. There's something I haven't read. I don't read much, but when I do, it's usually wrestling magazines.
Read any Salon article, and you are...
yeah, the deepest I get into is the Meltzer Report, so yeah, that's it. So, let's see. I don't know about Amy watching the wrestler movies. Might be hard considering. Man, those little comments pass quickly. But anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. We did get somebody who left us another $2. Thank you so much. $7 in donations. We really have not made money on this channel. It's just been a labor of love. I think
it's fun to say hi and watch wrestling with you guys.
Very transparently, because some people are like, I can't believe that somebody donated money to you guys. You're just raking in the cash. Last month, our monetization made $39, so thank you for monetization. And we spent $70 on Halloween costumes and about $20 on candy that we ate during these. So we came out in the negative last month.
No, we came out ahead because we have wrestling costumes and candy.
And we got to watch wrestling, and it was fun on Halloween and Thanksgiving. This is what we do on holidays, apparently.
Apparently, that's the only free time we have, unfortunately.
We're awful. So, we work too much. Thank you so much for joining us, the people who donated $7 to our cause. We do appreciate that. And, we're just here to have a good time. And leave some comments below what we should watch next. Maybe Ministry of Darkness. Should we skip order, some of that? I think a lot of you folks are Attitude Era fans, and we've been doing a lot of 80s stuff. So tell us what era, what type of stuff we should be watching, and we'll try to accommodate.
I want to see the one where someone gets crucified, personally, because that seems awesome.
I feel like they might not even put that on WWE Network now. Like, they might be like, we don't show that.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very ad-friendly, but I want to see it.
Yeah, that might be a hard one to find. So if you find that link, leave it below. Thanks again for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. We are grateful for you.
All right, so I'm going to go up here, try to click stop, and if I find it, it's going to stop.